We're getting to the latter half of January for PSVR2, and that means things are going to get busy. The first half wasn't busy at all, but now Vertigo 2 is out, and Bulletstorm is coming in just a couple of days. I will have content out on that game, I'm excited to cover it, but today we're talking about a game that just got a massive update in the form of a DLC this time. Usually I cover free updates, but sometimes we have the DLC like the Walkabout DLC, and now we have the VR Skater DLC, which are paid for. Now, this DLC includes a whole lot of stuff, so if you're here for the info on that, it costs $15 and it includes 5 street skating parks, which are all available in the normal tour mode, the practice mode for medals, and even 2 new modes for this DLC, which is the SL Pro Series Tour. That's the name of the DLC. There's 2 new modes, Mission Run and Pro Run, 15 new leaderboards, new exclusive items in the skate shop, and 4 new PSN trophies. So there's a whole lot of content here, and the parks that are included here can be skated in both directions, which is awesome. This is the caveat though. I actually haven't tried it because I had not played VR Skater up until this point. But after getting in contact with Perp to cover Vertigo 2, I also reached out to cover VR Skater as well, because it's a game I've been really curious about for a fairly long time. So the DLC seems pretty solid, but what about the actual game itself? The core gameplay of VR Skater, is it actually any good? And is it really living up to the standard of being Tony Hawk but in VR? I would say it's actually pretty damn close. For a game that I thought would just be a simple gimmick of doing a couple tricks, it really surprised me. This is a properly in-depth skating simulator where you can control your speed, your direction, what you jump onto, which tricks you do, how you land when you land, how much risk you want to take on each run, with various game modes, customization, and a lot going for it. I'm genuinely impressed by this game, although it is incredibly hard.
This is so difficult. Okay.
It might actually be the hardest title I've ever played on PSVR2. I'd say the Light Brigade is also really punishing, because that's the gameplay loop it's designed to give you, but VR Skater might be even more so. It's quite easy to learn the basics of how to push forward, which involves you pushing down with your right hand to mimic the motion of pushing your feet onto the floor to get yourself going. That feels really natural and really good. The jump button is very simple, whether you want to ollie or nollie, and technically what you do from there, which is flick the board with your left wrist, left or right, or do several different tricks or grinds, they're technically just button presses and wrist movements that seem very easy, but it's even more easy to get it all wrong, especially when you're trying to chain combinations. That's the main gameplay loop of VR Skater. Just like Tony Hawk, just like Skate 3, you want to skate fast, you want to maintain combinations, and you want to land cleanly, and it's the landing which is the main issue for me.
Oh my god, that is nuts. What an intro to the game, that's sick.
I'm still pretty horrendous at this game, and I've got a good 2 hours in it now, and I seriously have seen some improvement, but it's a game with a real learning curve, and I feel like skating fans that want to do this stuff in VR, that's exactly what they're going to look for. They don't want some watered down version of what skating is, they want the closest thing to it, and to be honest, this is it. I've done my fair share of skating in real life a couple of years back, wasn't very good at it, but this does feel remarkably similar in the try, fall down, try again, fall down, get up again, and try once more. That's the mantra you have going at a sport like this, and the VR game really reflects that well.
Okay. Yes!
The game's split into several different modes. You can do straight runs where you go flying down a certain course over loads of different locations that are all packed into the base game. You can have certain challenges where you need to do one trick and get as many points as possible. There's quite a fair bit to do here, and all the tutorials also take a little bit of time to get to grips with all the controls and all the tricks that you can do. And I think that's awesome that they provide the tutorials that teach you gradually, bit by bit, before throwing you into the wider tours where you do all of your stunts and try and gain medals. I was an idiot and went straight into the tours and just tried to do them right off the bat after the first couple of tutorials. Probably wasn't a very good idea, but I started to teach myself the hard way, I guess. But seriously, there is a lot to do here, along with customizing your boards, where you can customize your trucks, your wheels, your board, and your grip tape. And you unlock different customizations by getting points and earning in-game currency as you skate through the game. VR Skater also has a great soundtrack, but unfortunately, that's the reason why not too much footage has been played in this video. There'll be a couple clips here and there, but I really can't show too much because I did actually have the soundtrack on, which is stupid of me as I played through. But also there's a lot of footage I've recorded when I've been in a PlayStation party talking to people, and I can't use that footage because I'm just having a conversation while playing the game, which might sound completely normal. A lot of people do that. But for me, when I'm playing a game, I usually stand there, I record it in my own time, outside of my other gaming sessions. However, VR Skater was so addictive and embodied that, oh, I just want one more go feeling, that I was playing this while I was chatting to my flat screen friends as well on PlayStation parties, which is a testament to how fun it is at getting you back onto the course and wanting another run. Let's talk technical, boring stuff now that all the fun stuff is out the way. Visually, this game I think runs at 90 Hz unreprojected, meaning your skating feels incredibly smooth. I feel like this game would feel horrendous reprojected. Luckily, there's none of that here. And visually, it is quite sharp. The textures, especially in the distance, are a little Quest-like because they're making up the background of the scenes that you're in, but everything that's close or to medium distance, those textures are great. And I'm not talking about resolution here. Resolution across the board is pretty damn good. It's just some textures, because they're far off distances, are less detailed. That's a normal thing. But overall, the game looks pretty damn great, and the visual style is realistic, which I think was a good choice. It really makes me feel like I'm playing kind of an offshoot of Skate 3 or Tony Hawk that's specifically made for VR. It's pretty awesome. Haptics-wise, it does make use of the haptics in the Sense controllers very well to simulate the ground underneath your board, your takeoffs, your landings, all of that good stuff. It's implemented really well. And technically, across the board, this is a very well put together VR game that I really enjoyed playing. The only caveat I would say is the price tag. The game retails for about £30 here in the UK, and for a game that has one niche, that's quite expensive. Technically, you could get hours and hours of gameplay out of this, but you only have so many maps, and for less than this price, you could go and buy a game that will arguably give you more meaningful hours like Vertigo 2. However, VR Skater is a game where you'll get as much out of it as you put in terms of effort and practice, and that's going to appeal to a very niche subset of players, but I think they're really going to love it if they haven't picked it up already. So, that's my overall thoughts on VR Skater for PSVR 2. I've really enjoyed my time with it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad I finally got around to covering it. Check out the new DLC if you're interested. I'll leave a link to the store page on the PS Store in the link below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video.